It might be because I was born in the 80s, but when I think of actresses from the golden age of Hollywood, it's the typical ones that come to mind. Katharine Hepburn, Grace Kelly, Ava Gardner, Judy Garland, and that's just to name a few. But when I posted my video on the 1940s, back when I'd really only just started my channel, it became pretty clear to me that there were a lot of actresses from this era that are often overlooked. The comments section was flooded with names of actresses that viewers thought should have been included. Some of these I'd been saving for my 1930s video for the sake of being concise, but other names I was quite unfamiliar with. So I took it upon myself to find out more about the lesser-known actresses from the 30s, 40s and 50s. The underrated ones, who deserve more credit but seem to be overshadowed by the bigger-name movie stars who took most of the spotlight. I looked everywhere to find out more. I searched websites, read books, I put the question out to Reddit and my subscribers, I scrolled through countless comments on other videos, and I'll admit, I even asked AI out of pure curiosity as to what it would come up with. Let me just say, it was Reddit that really came through for me. As I started to delve into this subject, it became clear that many names from this period of film have been left out of the conversation, and unless you're a die-hard fan of classic cinema, these names have become lost. So, after hours and hours of research and data collection, I was left with a list of almost 50 names. But these 10 actresses seem to be mentioned in every place I looked. So we're counting down the top 10 most underrated actresses from the golden age of cinema. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Cinema Retrospective if you want to learn more about cinema history. Coming in at number 10 is Rosalind Russell. She was known for her strong screen presence, distinctive voice, and sharp comedic timing. Russell had a successful career that spanned several decades. She often portrayed the sophisticated career woman, but was also fondly remembered for her role as Auntie Mame, both on Broadway and in the film version. Russell was nominated for 4 Oscars, but a win always seemed to elude her. She was, however, presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Academy in 1973. I personally really enjoy her comedic work, especially in The Women. I'm not sure anyone else can pull off those facial expressions in the way Ros did. At number 9 is Mary Astor. Mary Astor was masterful in both drama and comedy and is said to be the actress that Bette Davis admired most. Astor began her career in the silent era and almost didn't survive the transition to talkies after a bad sound test saw her out of work for 10 months. Unable to accept defeat, she decided she had better get some stage training, and within 5 weeks she was back on film. Despite some other personal challenges, Mary Astor remained a strong presence in Hollywood. Director Lindsay Anderson named Astor as his favourite actress and said, "Everybody agrees that she was an actress of special attraction, whose qualities of depth and reality always seemed to illuminate the parts she played." Astor is particularly well known for her part as the femme fatale in The Maltese Falcon and her Oscar-winning performance in The Great Lie. Number 8 is Myrna Loy. Myrna was a much-loved actress in both the silent era and into the age of the talkies, and was so talented that she even earned the nickname the Queen of Hollywood. She was very well liked by the public and co-stars alike. Her deceptively straightforward artistry kept her from getting the types of flashy roles which netted Oscar nominations. She became known for redefining the role of housewife as depicted in films, with her sharp wit, sophistication and charm. When presenting Myrna Loy with an honorary award, actress Kathleen Turner stated that there's never been a woman like her in American film. Loy's legacy in Hollywood is that of a talented and strong-willed actress who brought depth and grace to her roles. Her ability to seamlessly transition between comedy and drama, as well as her timeless beauty and charisma, have solidified her place as one of the most respected and admired actresses in the golden age of Hollywood. In 7th place is Joan Blondell. For someone my age, Joan Blondell was simply that adorable lady in Greece who gets excited watching the kids at the school dance. But Joan Blondell's career was actually so much more than that. Once I started looking into her career, I discovered that she was a much-loved actress of the 30s and 40s, though she doesn't get much credit because she tended to play the supporting characters. She had the ability to give performances that ranged from deeply emotional to light and witty. She was known for playing the self-reliant, breezy blonde who specialised in wisecracks, but in her later years she moved into character acting. She had a vivacious personality and sharp wit, and my research suggests she was well liked amongst her peers. She contributed significantly to the entertainment industry, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances and endearing charm. It's very clear she is an overlooked talent when it comes to the conversations about the best of the golden age. The 6th spot goes to Judy Holliday. Judy Holliday was set to become an icon of the golden age, one of the greatest, but her untimely death cut short her career with just 9 film credits. She certainly managed to make an impact in those films, even winning an Oscar for Best Actress for her performance in Born Yesterday. She became known for her comedic timing and for her ability to expertly play the dumb blonde role, despite being highly intelligent herself. She had a way of bringing depth to her characters, even if she was playing the bimbo type of character. Coming in at number 5 is Ida Lupino. This was a name that definitely came up in several of the places I went to for answers, and was mentioned in the comment section of my 1940s video. I asked those around me if they'd heard of her, and many said no. When I looked into her life and career more closely, I was shocked that she doesn't get talked about more. Ida Lupino was an established actress, but she was also a forward thinker. As an actress, she was selective about her roles and was even put on suspension for her contract with Warner Brothers when she refused particular roles because they were poorly written and beneath her. She eventually left the studio and signed with 20th Century Fox, but before doing so, she used her time on suspension as an opportunity to observe what goes on behind the camera. She learnt the craft of filmmaking, editing and producing, and ultimately became a savvy businesswoman. She paved the way for female directors in a typically male-dominated profession. She was the first female to direct a film noir with the film The Hitchhikers in 1953. Ida Lupino is someone that I think should get talked about more. At number 4 is Theresa Wright. Theresa Wright is not unknown as such, but she certainly seems to be left off a lot of the best of lists, which is interesting given she's technically one of the most successful actresses of her time. She starred in classics like Pride of the Yankees, Shadow of a Doubt, and The Best Years of Our Lives. She is the only actress ever to be nominated for an Oscar for her first 3 films, after making her debut in 1941 in The Little Foxes. In 3rd place is Jean Tierney. During the 45th New York Film Festival, famed director Martin Scorsese made the claim that Jean Tierney is one of the most underrated actresses of the golden era. Tierney was originally meant to be signed with Paramount Pictures, but her planned project was passed to MGM, and so Tierney returned to Broadway. Paramount's loss was 20th Century Fox's gain when founder Danny F. Zanuck saw her and quickly offered her a contract. He would later say she was unquestionably the most beautiful woman in movie history. She was certainly a timeless beauty, but her success cannot just be attributed to her good looks. It was also the way she carried herself and the charisma she exuded on screen that made her truly exceptional. She had a unique ability to convey a wide range of emotions, which may have been a result of the struggles she was battling in her own life. This included bouts of depression and caring for a disabled child. Her personal story is quite a sad one, but she is certainly deserving of a place on this list. The 2nd spot is for Miriam Hopkins. Miriam Hopkins was a dynamic and versatile actress of the golden age of Hollywood. She possessed a unique blend of beauty, charisma, and acting skills that allowed her to excel in a wide range of roles. Known for her expressive face, distinctive voice, and ability to convey emotions effectively, she brought depth and authenticity to her characters. While Hopkins is certainly a favourite among classic film fans, it seems she was somewhat of a divisive character behind the scenes. According to her profile on Turner Classic Movies, she was known to be difficult on set, which they suggested was the reason she worked for several different studios in her career. Despite this, she was well liked by the critics for her versatility and scene-stealing performances. Even her biggest rival, Bette Davis, admitted that she was a terribly good actress. The more I looked into Miriam Hopkins, the more I found myself liking her. She was considered difficult, but I get the impression she was just sure of herself and was strong enough to stand by her convictions. Now, before I share the number one spot, I wanted to say a few names who I couldn't include in the top 10, but they do deserve a shout out. Barbara Stanwyck is a very familiar name to classic film fans, but I think very few people from the general public have ever heard of her. Gloria Graham also has a very interesting filmography and an even more interesting biography, but Graham knew how to make an impact, even if only on screen for a short amount of time. Joan Fontaine doesn't seem to be mentioned as much as her sister Olivia de Havilland, despite being a formidable leading lady to actors like Cary Grant and Laurence Olivier. Okay, at the number one spot with an overwhelming number of people, websites, books and subscribers naming her as the most underrated is Jean Arthur. When you look at Jean Arthur's career, you can see why she was the actress whose name came up the most. It wasn't just the audience who loved her. Even her co-stars could see her appeal. James Stewart said she was the finest actress he ever worked with. No one had her humour or her timing. She was also routinely praised by directors for her comedic timing, with George Stevens calling her one of the greatest comedians the screen has ever seen. As pointed out by one of my subscribers, she had the ability to make many of the leading men she worked with look great. A common theme amongst the Reddit comments was her distinctive voice. Jean Arthur had an ability to portray both strong and vulnerable characters, and her skill in conveying complex emotions through subtle gestures was second to none. When I started watching some of her films, it was easy to see why so many people found her endearing and lovable. So there you have it, the top 10 most underrated actresses from the golden age of cinema. Did your favourite make the list? If you have any other names you can suggest, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Cinema Retrospective. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.